Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly live event. It's Pascal here. It's good to see everybody, and I hope everyone had a great week. Super busy now, as you guys can tell. The market's on fire. Um, a lot of activity that's been pent up for the last year, and more than happy to go into all the details into your market and see how things are going in your market. So I'm giving a couple of minutes for everyone to kind of join the live event, and I'll get into answering everybody's questions. How's everybody doing over there on IG? What's up, Ray? How you doing? What's up, Royal? Hey, what's up, George, on YouTube? I'm doing great, George. Just checked out this 4-unit and, a block from the water, $900,000 for it in downtown St. Pete. And I have a 3-unit and a 2-unit in the same neighborhood, half a block from the water, under contract. So things are really going good. Everything's in the right direction. So it's going pretty good right now. So just diligence and run our numbers to get these properties remodeled and out there again. A lot of great stuff right now. The Coastal Cottage is the 16-unit complex that I did the remodel for the last year and a half. That appraisal came back in, and the numbers are sick. The numbers are awesome. The appraisal came back in at $3.66 million, and we're in for like $1.85 million. So we doubled the value of the property. It's awesome, right? Have about 500 into the deal. Getting a refinance right now to get some of our cash out of the deal, and then we got another refinance lined up for next year for the same property with the same bank to get the rest of the money out of the deal. So it's gonna be amazing. Right now we're gonna be clearing, $10,000 a month. So $120,000 with about $450 left into this deal, and that's like 25% cash on cash return on a location that's in a property that's in an amazing location. So its numbers are great. Everything's looking amazing. So, just trying to keep it going. Checked out a property. It says connection is poor. So let me know if you guys don't see a good connection. So again, checked out a 4-unit, a block from the water, 900,000. Rental is going to be for roughly 300,000, so it'll be about 1.2 million into this 4-unit. But the numbers look awesome. Numbers look great. No deals right now. There isn't really much deals. Like the only thing that I'm seeing right now out there is value add. So if you can't do value add, then you're not making any money. So that's where I'm really doing my stuff. Like, where's my stuff coming from? How am I doing my deals? My deals are coming from value add. So let's break down the $900,000 deal. The $900,000 deal, purchase price is roughly $900,000. It's 3,600 square foot of heated space, 4 units, and it's about 1,200 square foot of basement. Yes, basement in Florida, right by the water, crazy. And about another I'm going to say another 400 garage space. So about 1,600 square foot of storage space in addition to 3,600 of living space. So it's quite awesome to have that much space. Again, the numbers are looking awesome, and we're going to do a bunch of value add, put in 300K to the property, and bring the rents up to about $2,500 a month for these 2-bedroom, 2-bath block from the water. And the street and the views are awesome. I'm going to have videos I'm going to be posting onto YouTube and IG for you guys to check out of the whole walkthrough and the thoughts of the property. So Ronald on YouTube says, did they push the forbearance further? Yes, they're not even going to do any more foreclosures until like September, and no evictions until like June. And then from that time, by the time they start doing these foreclosures, it's going to take a little while to start rolling out. So it's going to take a minute for that to happen. for that to roll out. Now, and today I'm actually going to be going into explaining a new investment style that I'm about to roll into. But George on YouTube says, I have a question for you. You have probably said this before, but what data are you looking in neighborhoods to see if it has potential? Job growth, population, 1-3-5 miles, education, and vacancies. Most of that doesn't matter because who I'm targeting is usually retired individuals. So for example, a lot of times you look at school district where you want to live, where your kids are going to live. But I'm not targeting working class people. I'm targeting normally these are people that work in a tech field that don't have any kids. And if they do have kids, their kids go to private school. So the school district in that area doesn't matter. So if you look at some of the schools are like a 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 normally, but where I live, the school districts are 9 and 10 out of 10. Now, with the properties I'm investing in, the other group of people are retired. So again, the school district, things like that, medium income doesn't always matter because some of these people are actually getting paid out of state. They're not getting paid in state. So what really matters is it a downtown core? Because if you have a downtown core, the demand for that is high. So that's why downtown core, second and tertiary markets are going to be in high demand and rent growth should be aggressive. So initially when I'm getting into these deals, the caps aren't awesome, right? The caps I'm buying at 6.6 and I'm doing value add and bringing them to like 7.8 before Airbnb. And then usually with Airbnb and a couple other tricks, I'm actually moving the caps closer to like 15. So that's nice, right? Those are good numbers. But I'm also projecting significant rent growth going forward, you know? Yes, I am in Tarpon Springs. I live in Tarpon Springs and but I don't own any properties in Tarpon Springs yet. I'm working on building a 60-unit complex by the water. So, Jonathan, what's up? Fastest way to $3 million in real estate is to start with 3 to 4 units and build up, correct? Yeah, I mean, fastest way is multi-units, in my opinion. So what matters is when you're talking about 1-3-5 mile radius, education, vacancy, stuff like that, what really matters is who is your target market and what do they want? Now, if your target market is lower income, then you can't target how much is people making, because if they're lower income, they're not making much money. If your target market is Section 8, then they're not making almost any money. So target income in a radius, it depends. Who is your target market? What are you aiming for? What are your investment philosophy? That's what matters. So my brand is Coastal Cottages. So that's what I. So I'll be in like say downtown Clearwater, and I would have concrete block buildings and tile floors, properties that could get beat up, because if I do have someone in there that doesn't take care of the property, it's easy to maintain, fix, and move forward. So be conscious of who is your target market, and then you're going to understand where am I going to go to meet their need, where am I going to find these people, and then what is a good deal in that neighborhood. Because that's what matters. What's a good deal in that neighborhood? So $900,000 for a fourplex is a lot in Florida. But again, for this specific property, I am a block from the water. Like you can walk to the beach, and at 3,600 square feet, dollar per square foot is like under 300. Another good deal. So the numbers make sense. It makes it very valuable. So be considerate of the numbers in your area. Now, if you go 5 streets over, you could buy stuff for $100,000 a square foot. But 5 streets over and 1 street from the water is a big difference. Sharon says, hi, is there a difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval? And do they hit your credit? So pre-approval does hit your credit. because you should be getting your credit pulled to have a pre-approval. Pre-qualification, usually, to be accurate, also should be hitting your credit, but doesn't mean that they are being hit your credit. So the more factors, when your credit is checked, when your bank statements are reviewed, when your W-2s are reviewed, and your pay stubs, and all of those things, factors are actually checked, that makes it more qualified. Because anyone can write you a pre-qualification letter. Doesn't mean you're going to get a loan, right? So the more information that I gather and I check and I verify and I actually run credit and come back with reports before I give it to the bank is better for you. Because in that scenario, if there is a problem, I can immediately, confront the problem and say, let's resolve this problem right away. And we can get this resolved in the next 30 days before we go to the bank, before you have a contract. Because if you have a contract and you're trying to close in 30 days and you have a problem, you might not be able to. Depends on the issue at hand. The more information known, the better you're going to be able to act. Ferdos, Sebastian, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ones, glad to see you out here. Savage says, hope you're having a great night. Thank God. God is good. Everything is good. So I'm very thankful. Chainlink making moves. So I haven't checked it in a minute. Where's it at? Because I did take a big drop. It actually took a big drop, and I have a decent amount of Chainlink. Let me see where I'm at. I have about $93,900 of Chainlink. A little bit backwards. Can you see that? Yeah, there it is. But it was at almost 100 a couple days ago. So, but I'm not mad. I'll take it. And Ripple was up pretty high as well. It's pulled back. I was up to 90,000 in Ripple. Now it's pulled back to 64. But again, I'm not complaining, right? One day, my crypto account fell like $55,000, and it sucks, right? But whatever, keep it moving. Do you rent the home you live in? No, I own the home I live in, and I have a way of actually owning the house without actually really having any money in it. So I bought the house, put 20% down, and did some little things here and there, changed the roof, changed the water purification system, did things just to make it nicer, changed my pool to a saltwater pool, these different things. Then I got the home reappraised, and it appraised higher than what I bought it for. And I then got a loan for 100% loan to value, a home equity line of credit at 100% loan to value. Well, that HELOC at 100% loan to value is now, I got more money out than I had in the home. And between my first mortgage, my second mortgage, my taxes and insurance, all my expenses, it's cheaper than if I was going to rent a home. So now I'm owning a home cheaper than it would be for me to rent the home, and I'm riding the appreciation. So I bought the house. I bought it for like maybe 480. I think I'm in for 480, and it's like 2 years later, it's worth like 600. So I never made another $120,000 bump up in value, but I have no money into this property. So that's the way I'm doing it now. Again, I got 3 kids. I have, I don't want to be house hacking, right? That was back in the day when I first started, where I bought a duplex, lived on one side, rented out the other one. Now I figure out different ways I can house hack. But I am office hacking. I own an office building. I bought it 3 years ago. I recently rented half of it to a doctor. The money I'm bringing in pays all my bills, and I'm renting my half of the office basically for free. Delon and me are so happy. Yeah. Delon put me on to Chainlink, right? I'm a competitive power lifter. Delon is another competitive power lifter on my team. And he's like, yo, you got to buy Chainlink. And I'm like, say less. I'll buy it, whatever. So I put in like $41,000 into it. Then I sold 10,000 of it and bought some other crypto that's also doing very well. And that $31,000 is like almost $100,000 now, like triple. So, it's nice. It's nice. What are my opinions on 3D building houses? So it's going to eventually come, but it matters on cost and it matters on permitting, right? Because just because they have tires today that do not need air and do not use rubber or very little rubber, but they're not being used. Because until they have the laws that allow them to use these properties and these buildings and these materials, it doesn't matter, right? I've actually been to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's very nice. And I have some Ethereum too. It's done. I think it doubled up on my Ethereum has doubled. My Chainlink has tripled. And recently, I actually held XRP for a year. It barely moved, went up, and then the lawsuit happened and went back down. But now it's actually up to like 60,000. So my XRP has gone up 6 times. So I'm not mad. I'll take it. So Ronald says, so does that mean the housing market will continue to inflate due to the prolonged forbearance? That is correct, Ronald. The housing market should continue to inflate for the next 2 years. I believe the housing market should start going down the end of 2023 now. So what I'm doing now is I'm continue buying good deals that cash flow well, remodel the property, and do a refinance, pull my equity out, and get a stable debt. I don't want to be stuck in any hard money loans or anything like that during that time period. George says, what is the return you usually wait to see in your investments? Cash on cash, equity multiple. Do you view a building by cost analysis, or do you use a different approach? So George then said, what do I look at, honestly, is I look at being able to get my equity out within 3 years. Can I force appreciation and pull my money out? Can I burr the property? If I can burr the property and it's a multi-unit property in a very hot market, I want to keep it. But if it's like a single family home or a multi-unit property that is not in a hot market, where basically I remodeled the property, got the highest rents possible, and now I'm going to sell it to someone else that's just a cash flow investor, then I'm out. So most properties, if they're a good deal, I will buy them and work on them. But the question at the end is, if it doesn't have significant growth factors in the land and in the area, then I will not keep the property. I'll just do the work and resell it and just make my money. Ronald says, my parents are retired, collecting Social Security, living in the attic of their cash flowing 2-family house. Are they eligible to do a cash out refi? Yes, they are eligible to do a cash out refi. It's still a primary residence because they live at the property, and it should be pretty easy for them to do that. If you need help, DM me. I do refinances. Tina Mission said, what asset class is better and why? Residential or commercial? There isn't a better, right? Both are doing very well. Now, if you say retail or restaurant, it has a lot of pain points. If you're talking about movie theaters, you're talking about all the ones that are hurting, it's going to be tough. Hotels, so hard to get funding for. So it's going to cause the prices to dive even harder, right? When funding goes, prices drop in real estate. So what you need to kind of consider is not residential or commercial, but what area and what niche. Because if you're looking at, say, industrial, or you're looking at storage units, they're doing extremely well. And in down markets, they do extremely well for storage units. Because when people lose their house and they downsize, or when they downsize and they move back into their parents, they put their stuff in storage. Come here, Zachy. What? Okay, show me. Nice. All right, say hi to everybody and then go to bed.
Hi.
Over here.
Hi.
All right, go to bed. All right, so all right, let's get some answers here. Have you ever? I appreciate you. Ripple is going to do it all. Thank you. Thank God. I mean, I'm here for you guys. I want you guys to all be successful. Pascal, buying property to rent to students in large university areas. Thoughts? Plus, if the student becomes a state resident, major college savings. So, yes, student housing can be profitable as well, but you need to be careful because you must build your property to withstand the wear and tear. You need to build your property to withstand the wear and tear, okay? All right, what's up, Teen Ambition? How much do I lift? I lift a lot. Let's see. Juju King wants to go live. Let's see what he has to say. What are the growth factors? What is the percentage? The growth factor is dependent on how much people are moving into the area. What's up?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Good. So I did the cash out refi,
Nice.
and it's working out amazingly. I ended up the house that I got for 280 ended up valuing for like 493. I thought it should be a little bit more, but getting around 75K with that 70/30. I don't understand it, but I did it because it feels like it makes sense. So we're gonna go with it. But it closes on Friday. But now I'm trying to think, what's the next? Where do I go and put that money in?
It's the same thing like, so if you guys don't know, this guy is big in the tech world. He's a big tech boss out here. He's trying to get into the real estate business with all his money he's making in the tech world. It's pretty simple. I mean, you don't need the money. So I wouldn't focus more on cash flow, right? A lot of people get into business because they want cash flow, but you're not 60 years old. So what you should focus on is buying properties that add mostly appreciation. Go after heavy appreciating properties that have some cash flow that make it comfortable to make all the payments.
So my realtor was telling me here in Atlanta that there's an area with new builds where they've been appreciating by 9% a year.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that sounds like something good? Or is 9%?
So this is the thing. Like in Florida, we're 11% in Florida. My market, we're appreciating 11% a year. So that doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't matter. What you do want to do is have the wind at your back and have the growth of the area helping you, which is awesome. But the main point of what I'm buying is I'm buying properties that are worth, for example, the one I just did, I bought it for $975. I put in $900,000. It got appraised like 2 weeks ago for $3.65 million. And I'm doing a refi now, and we're gonna get like $500,000 out.
Okay.
So
that's good.
So it's good. Yeah, I doubled. We basically, I doubled the value. We're between loan and cash. We're at 1.8, and now it's 3.6. Doubled it. And about the cash injection amount is roughly about 500K. So 500K, we quadrupled that. So cash flow is nice. But the cash flow is not what I care. So I just built a crazy amount of equity that I'm not being taxed on because I'm not selling the property. I'm doing a cash out refi to pull out some of the equity and use that money to do it again. Now, the next property I'm looking at doing right now is the fourplex. It's 900K. I'm gonna put in 300K into it. I'll be at 1.2 million. But the houses next door, they're building single family homes for 1.5 million. So I'm gonna have a fourplex that I'm in with everything basically new at 1.2 next to a 1.5 million single family home that's one block from the water. So the value of that is going to be at like 1.6, 1.8. So I should be able to cash out refi, get all my money back. Now I bird the property and I have the money just coming in and I have no equity in it. And I'm doing it again. And I'm doing it again. And I'm doing it again. So I'm constantly doing that. By the time you're done, you have $10 million in equity that you rolled the same money again and again, and you got some cash flow coming in at the same time, and it's nice, and it's nice.
So your best thing is just to keep finding a property where you can like a fixer-upper where you can just get your crew to fix it up, add a lot more value, something like a multiplex, and just find it in a good location that's undervalued. You just, you fix it up, and then you boom it from there, and then you do a cash out refi.
And the thing is,
I'm trying to find that, but I'm like when I look through Zillow and I put like any multiplex in Atlanta, it's like they're all gone.
so the three I have under contract in the same neighborhood. One, I was driving, saw a woman with a sign on the road, came out, and obviously she sees my like I-8 with the doors opening up, and she's like, "What is that?" And we start talking, and she shows me her house, and I was like, "Oh man, I would love to buy your house and the house next door." She's like, "That was my house. I just sold it, but I think the realtor wants to sell it because he decided he doesn't want to live in it." So then I got him under contract, and then I got a fourplex under contract down the street. Day one, it hit the market. Day one, I said I'm going to buy it. But the people in that neighborhood know me. I've showed my face, and they know I want to buy deals. So the thing is, I'm establishing.
How would you tell somebody how to find the deals then? Because that right now seems like the most difficult thing to do.
So
in a market like this, where like you have 50 people jumping on a house as soon as it comes out.
So one, you're gonna have to like talk to the realtors that just sold a property you really liked and that are like really established in the neighborhood. So when they find this deal, they're contacting you, they're communicating with you, and you're able to have them call you. And you just let them, and then just talk about yourself. Be like, "Look, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the tech industry. I make a lot of money. I have some money I want to invest into real estate. I have this cash saved up. I'm ready to go. When you get another deal, let me know day one. I'll buy it from you."
Okay.
But you have to, but the thing is, do you know how many people say that? Do you know how many people?
That was the genius. That was because in the end of the day, I ended up actually paying less monthly from a 25 to a 30, and I got around like 80K in my pocket. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, and you have a lower interest rate too.
And a lower interest rate, yeah. So it works out. It's nice, and now you feel like you can look at like bigger properties and like bigger investments, especially when you're starting off. It's like it feels good. It's like, okay,
to win.
I can take it now to the next step. Yeah, I can take it to the next step. So it's awesome. So I'm gonna talk to my realtor on Friday. I found a realtor that gives supposedly lessons about real estate and stuff like that. Supposedly really good, but nobody's been able to find me anything here in the States. In Canada, I had luck with one realtor that, like how you described it, like one that knows the area. She's finding me a property that's because the Airbnb over there is going down because everybody's under lockdown. So you can monopolize in Canada on like Airbnb properties.
Mm-hmm.
People who bought properties purely for Airbnb because right now like they have a few and everything's shutting down. So it's a good time to buy that certain market in Canada. But other than that, like prices are crazy. So
I was in I'm telling you, I was in Georgia for a powerlifting competition like 8 months ago, right? And when I was there, we drove through this neighborhood, and I was like, "Man, this is a nice neighborhood." And my friend's like, "Oh yeah, they're like $300K for a house here." I was like, "Bro, they're not $300K for the house here because I'm seeing how nice it is here, and those windows are expensive windows. Those are not like $300K house windows." So I looked it up, like 1,000 square foot house was going for like $700,000 in this neighborhood plus in this part of Georgia.
What neighborhood?
I don't remember. It was right outside of Atlanta.
Right outside of Atlanta. Okay.
And so
Might be Brookhaven.
it might have been. Now,
if an area that expensive, it's either Buckhead or Brookhaven.
yeah, and it was like there was like other homes were like $1 million and whatever, but most starter homes in that area were like $600-700K to start. So, and they were like again 1,000 square feet. Now the point is, I said I like this neighborhood. Let me find a multi-unit here. I found an 8-plex for sale for $1.2 million. It just went on the market a couple of days ago. And I'm like, this is an amazing deal. It's $150,000 a door for like 1,000 square feet, where 1,000 square foot house is $700,000. So this is easy, $1,500 a month rent.
Yeah, I found a good deal. I have my lawyer that because I got into a car accident. My lawyer, I was talking to him about this, and then he has a $1.6 million house that can sell very fast for $2 million, like with this market. And he wants only 1.6, and I'm trying to think, like, can I do something with that or no? Because I don't have enough capital to like flip it or.
I don't understand why you would need capital, because if he's your lawyer and he's willing to sign the contract to you, you have him sign the contract to you, and you have 60 to 90 days to close, okay? And then you spend that time period to find someone to buy it from you for $1.9 million, and you have it closed simultaneously.
I can get it. My realtor said he can sell it over $2 million within 30 days.
So the point is this: you get them locked up for 60 days. You have your realtor sell it, and then it's a double close, and you make the $300K, and then you throw me 10% for the information.
I would 100%. If you can help me through it, I would 100% throw you.
I mean, it's really as simple as it sounds. It's really as simple as it sounds.
He only wants 1.6. He told me I want what I put into it, because he's paying around $60,000 in taxes every year, and he doesn't want to pay it anymore. So he's like, I just want to get rid of it at this point. So I'm like, we'll catch up about that later then.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. Okay. You gave me some good stuff to work with. Thank you.
You're welcome. Find me an architect.
An architect. I got you.
All right.
No worries.
I'll see you.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye. All right. So George says, Teen Ambition, I think to start residential is better, but for big bucks, retail makes more sense. Teen Ambition says, yeah, that's what I thought. See all these guys in the commercial space with the big bucks, such as Manny Kashabin and Grant Cardone. Well, actually, Teen Ambition, Grant Cardone's in residential real estate as well. He's in multifamily apartment buildings. So, technically, I'm in commercial, because anything over 4 units residential is considered commercial residential. So, all right. Let's see who else wants to go live. Frankie boy. All right, let's see you answer Frankie's questions. So this video is going to be posted on YouTube. So you'll be able to rewatch it on YouTube. I just bought my first house in West Chase and renovating it myself, in hopes to rent it out within a year. That's nice. That's basically what I did, except I did it in multi-units. It's a lot easier to make money and cash flow in multi-unit properties. Frankie boy, yes, I'm here to help everybody. The first thing you need to do is educate yourself and educate yourself in your market. So I spent years studying my market and learning finance. If it looks like you're young, you need to spend your time to learning all the things they don't teach you at school. So watch all my YouTube videos, my Instagram information. It's going to take you a while to understand and start processing what I'm saying and what it truly means. Because at different levels of your education, you're going to hear me say something and you're going to understand this much of it. Later, you're going to understand this level and more and more and more. As time goes on, you will learn more, but you need to focus and absorb the information. And I actually cannot see what these questions are saying, so I'll write add me. Okay, ask to be added. Anyway, add me. All right, well, request and I can add. Can you put your primary residence on an LLC? It wouldn't make sense to do that, to be honest with you. Normally, it does not make sense to do that, and it's very hard to get financing. Now, if you're gonna move if you want to try to protect your home, it's more likely they are moved into a trust. That's normally the move out of your personal name into a family trust. Can I work for you for free to learn? Possibly. DM me and see what you have to offer. Can I get you a job? Again, you want a job, you need to have some skills. Do you have any skills? Right? If you don't have any skills, what are you doing? What are you doing to gain skills? Because you can't come to someone and say, teach me skills. And then, because I want to be a millionaire, and in a year, I'm going to leave once you teach me. So what is this person doing? They're paying you to teach you to grow? It doesn't work like that. If you want to get paid at this level, then you need to work up to that level, and you need to put in the work to get there. So when I wanted the next job, when I was working at the bank, I wanted this higher position. At the lower level, I was working my job and showing that I could do the next position before they gave it to me. And as I was getting paid at this level, but doing this job and that job, I finally got promoted to the next level. So no one's going to hand anything to you. You need to work to get to that level. So Litecoin has a little bit more history to it and a little bit more strength to it. Dogcoin is really like a meme coin. So it doesn't really have a strong backing yet. So you have to be very careful when you're working with like Dogcoin. Litecoin, again, has a little bit more backing. My choice is Chainlink. My choice is XRP. My choice is Hedera Hashgraph, which is HBAR. It's a crypto that Amazon uses. So those are the coins that I'm kind of supporting for various reasons. We should block this guy. Which guy is this? All right, that guy's gone. All right. Should I chase a better mortgage rate to refinance or wait for equity to build? Well, it really depends because one, it depends how much current equity you have. It depends on your current interest rate. And that will determine if you should refinance. Because if you're at 3.25 and you want to go to 2.99, it might not be worth it. But if you're at 3.25 and you owe 200, but you could actually get a new mortgage at 400 and pull out an extra 200K, then at that point it'd be worth to get to 200K and get a 2.99 rate, or 2.75 rate or 2.5 rate, depending on your credit and so on. So it's more than one factor that determines if it's a good idea or a bad idea to refi. All right. To make an offer, is a pre-qualification letter good enough to start? I was going to call your office tomorrow. Daniel's has my tax info. So it does help having a pre-qual letter, but it also helps showing how much cash you have. So you can supply the bank signature and how much cash you have. The terms of your offer is going to help if you're actually trying to get the deal. So all those factors help. And again, constantly talking to the agents that works in those areas and that are getting the deals, the listing agents that are getting these deals is helpful because then they're going to be willing to work with you and help you. So it's not, you need to stick out. Make sure you're sticking out in a good way. What hustle would you recommend for a 17-year-old? Well, it depends what the 17-year-old's, what their skill is. If they're great on animation, then they would probably do something, animating something or editing video. If they're labor, then they should be cutting lawns. If they, pressure washing properties, it depends what skills they have, right? Now, if you have the luxury of not having to work, then I would say build your skills up, focus on studying on something that's going to be, that's going to pay you out in a good way. So build, like, if I didn't have to work, then I would spend all my time, learning the real estate market. And if I wanted to be in a tech world, learning how to code. If I wanted to be in finance, then I would study more finance and get a lot of volunteering at different jobs. And that's what I did. I didn't really need money when I was younger. I was very frugal and I didn't really care that much. So I would work for a lot of people for free. And that's how I got a lot of my skills. And from there, because I cared, I asked really good questions. Go to bed. So, not you guys. But yeah, I learned a lot of skills. Requested, you hope can get 5 minutes of your time after these questions. Buddy, right now is the time to ask me any questions. You want to go live, ask it right now. Otherwise, it's $500 an hour for people that are not my client if they want to talk to me one-on-one. It's $300 an hour for my clients if they want to talk to me one-on-one. So right now, this is the time for people to ask me really detailed questions, and they're going to get a lot of value. Anybody that spends an hour with me and pays $300 normally gets $3,000 of value because of all the problems I help them solve and all the money I help them save, or different ways to invest and make money. Like the other guy that was on here earlier talking about how he got his refi done. I don't do refis in Georgia, but I got on the phone with him. We talked about different concepts and how to get more money, told him about doing a refi and about reinvesting that money. He's very happy with his lower interest rates, lower mortgage payment, and extra $80,000 in his bank account. So when I'm consulting with someone, they're getting a lot of value out of it. And right now, you guys are getting that for free. So take advantage of it and ask good questions. Because again, people pay a lot of money to get my answers, okay? So question is, Pascal, how can I invest in Florida if I live in New York? Does it really make sense if I'm not here? So you can either invest with my real estate investment company, where you are part of, say, 10 people that are buying packages of properties with me. You can find a partner in Florida and you can do one-on-one with them, or you can buy a property and then get a realtor to, maintain it and rent it out for you. Normally, those deals are not as profitable as my deals. So there's many ways. And yes, it can make sense because you can live where you want to live, like live in New York or live in LA, but it's not really, in my opinion, worth investing in those markets. The rents are not that great and the laws are not that great. Frankie boy, you said, how much money a month? I don't understand your question. And Frankie boy, if you want to be taken seriously, you should probably remove 420 out of your name, because if you're looking at getting a job, some place is going to look at you, they're going to check your Instagram and Facebook, and they're going to see what type of stuff you post. And if you're not looking very professional or very serious, then they're going to be like, why am I going to want to waste my time with this person? So when I was going after these people and trying to get them to give me some of their time, I was giving them like an A effort. I was making myself valuable to them and showing them how I could help them. What you can give first, then after you give, you're going to get something back. Give first, then you get back. But if you ask for something first, you're not going to get anything. And you're not even going to get their time to talk to them. Is it difficult to get a hard money loan on rentals? And in what case would you get it? So is it difficult? No, it's not difficult to get a hard money loan on a rental. Would I get a hard money loan on a rental? If it's already fixed and finished, then it usually doesn't make any sense. I would just get a regular loan on that property. A hard money loan, I really only use that on a rental if I'm going to go and remodel the property, right? And then do a value add. And then by the time I'm finished, the property's worth a lot more. So Usually doesn't make sense. Fabian says, I'm a skilled carpenter. How can I serve you and learn this game? Well, if you live in the Tampa market, you can come work for my team. I have a construction crew, and you can work on the team. And along the way, you'll understand why I pick certain properties and what decisions I make and how I save money and how I spend money and how it ends up to a profit at the end of the day. So Zach says, I just wanted to ask if I was a co-signed and trying to get my first property in New York, how can I get my first duplex with that in mind? So did someone co-sign for you, or did you co-sign for someone else? I need to know that answer. Bigger LTV and lower interest rate when my home is move-in ready. That is correct. You get better LTV and lower interest rates. I understand co-signer. I know what a co-signer is. Are you looking for a co-signer, or did you already co-sign on a property? I don't understand. So you co-signed someone else's property. Can you request to go live, Zach? And then you could just ask me the question face-to-face live, and I'll answer it. It'll be a lot easier. All right. Ronald says, do you see the internet rates dropping lower this year, or interest rates? I mean, they're already at record lows, so I don't really see it getting any lower than that. I'm at 3.5% interest rate through an FHA. Do you recommend gaining more equity and waiting to refinance for next year? I mean, I would try to gain more equity. I would try to add more value, and then I would try to refi to like a 2.75 without any PMI. That should help you save some money. Raymond says, just wanted to know how you made your first loan since you were young at that time and you already had properties. So at 19, I bought my first property and I worked for the bank for a year and a half. I made $22,000 a year and I bought a property for $142,000. I had $32,000 saved up and I put $28,000 down, 20%, and paid for the closing costs and so on. Frankie boy, I was taking you seriously for a minute. Now I'm not taking you seriously. What's the minimum capital to get started in crypto? I mean, $100. It doesn't take that much money to get started in crypto. I already co-signed my father's house and now not sure how that will hurt my chances to buy my first property. Well, when you co-signed your father's house, it depends if you said that you're going to live there or you're just co-signing. Because if you said that you're going to live there, then that means you basically gave up your FHA first loan. So it could give up your FHA. But if you're just going to get a conventional loan and putting down 20%, it shouldn't really hurt you that bad. It really depends how expensive is your dad's house, how expensive is the multi-unit you're looking to buy. So there's things called debt to income ratio, and that debt to income ratio is going to have a factor to see how much more debt you can take on comfortably. Cap rate is pretty simple. Cap rate is if you bought a property cash. So let's just say you bought a property for $100,000 and you take the rents you're going to receive in that year before a mortgage payment. So the rent you're going to receive in a year after taxes, insurance, water, sewer, garbage, and maintenance, you're going to be left with $8,000. So if you bought the $100,000 cash, how much money are you making that year? $8,000. So 8,000 divided by $100,000 gives you 8%. That is an 8 cap property. You're very welcome, Zach. Again, your question is very detailed. It'll be a lot easier if you go live, and then I can ask you detailed questions. You can give me detailed answers, and then I'll be able to tell you how the numbers are going to work out. You're welcome, Ronald. You are very welcome. All right, guys, let me see what other questions you guys have here. What hustle? I already answered that one. How much? All right. Man, that guy answered that. He answered that question a lot. Do you need to own a fourplex for a year before refining? No, sometimes. Well, it depends what lender you're with. Require you to be in the property for 6 months. Some require you to be in there 12 months for you to do a cash out refi. Now, if you're not looking to do a cash out refi, you're like, I don't want any additional cash. I just want to refi what I currently owe. Then you don't need to wait 6 or 12 months. You can refi immediately. And you're like, not looking for any additional cash. I just want to refi what I owe, get a lower interest rate, lower payment, no PMI, stuff like that. So no, you do not have to wait a year. So Rob, DM me. Let me know when you're ready. I'll help you with your next refi. So Zach, how you actually can go live, if you sign out of this live event, like exit the live event, and then sign back in, it's going to ask you, do you want to go live? Ask Pascal to go live. And then it'll give you the opportunity to go live again. How do you become a mortgage broker? Well, if you become a mortgage broker, DM me, you can work for me. But how do you become one? You basically take a class, and after you're done with the class, you take the license, the test, and then you get your fingerprints taken, and then you can start doing. You can work for a company to do loans. So I think it's a lot better than being a real estate agent, personally. All right. So Zach, I accepted it. Oh, there you go.
Hey, Pascal, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Zach?
Sorry, I'm not really on this lives much. I only be really anticipating your lives mostly. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to help.
Yeah. So
where are you from, Zach? First of all, where are you from?
Nationality wise, or
You look like Egyptian.
Okay, you're getting there. From Yemen.
Yemen. All right. I'm close.
You're close. You're very close. I'm impressed. So yeah, my question just had a lot of parts. That's why. So I recently, about 2 months ago, co-signed for my father's house, and I think he still owes about $660,000.
So he owes $660. You co-signed, and is that because he's retired and not working?
No, he wanted to refinance.
What was the reason you needed to be on the loan? So there's a few reasons you'd be on the loan. One reason is he's in a cash business and he's not showing how much money he makes, or he's retired and is not making enough money to refi. And now, a lot of Middle Eastern people, they can spend 70% of their income and cover their mortgage, and it's comfortable for them. But normal mortgage standards is they don't allow more than 45% usually of the total income you're making towards covering your mortgage payment. And that mortgage payment and all debts. So that's mortgage, card payment, credit cards, everything. So what probably happened is the amount of money he's making doesn't cover all of his debts and the new mortgage payment. So did he buy this house, or is he just refining his existing home?
So you're gonna hear a crazy rate, right? So when he was looking for houses and he couldn't get a loan. But for this house, they accepted it with a 7% interest.
That's not crazy. I bought a house at 15%.
Oh, yeah,
In India, it is normal to have a 15% interest rate loan. And people tell me, hey, it's not easy in India because my loans are 15%. I said, but your appreciation is at 18% a year. That's a 3% spread. Now, if you look at American loans are at 3%. But the average appreciation rate of a home is normally 5 to 6%. Right now it's hyper, it's like 9 to 11. But the spread, the gap is what matters. You shouldn't care how much you're paying someone to borrow their money. You should care how much you're going to make on the money you're borrowing. So if you bought it at 7
See if it's worth it.
and it's 7 appreciation, then that's kind of tough. But if you're buying at 7 and you're in the Florida market where it's 11% appreciation, you're making 4% spread on someone else's money. On that deal, that means give me $1 billion. I will take $1 billion at 7% if you can guarantee me I can reinvest that $1 billion at 11%, and I'll make 4% spread on that money. So that means I'll make $40 million a year. I mean, that's literally what every hedge fund is doing, right? That's what they're doing. So you're just doing at the same level, but with personal debt. So debt is not bad. There is healthy debt and unhealthy debt, just like there's healthy fat and unhealthy fat. So continue with your 0.7% when they bought it.
Yeah, so that was a lot at the time for him, and for him to refinance, he needed somebody to co-sign with him. I'm not really sure. I know you asked about the cash and everything. I'm not really sure about that, but he needed somebody to co-sign with him, or they weren't going to let him refinance.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big amount.
Yeah, it is a big amount.
It's already hard enough to get a property.
Where do you live?
For the first time. In New York, Dog's Neck, if you know the Bronx.
Yeah, so it's expensive.
Yeah, so and I'm trying to get a duplex. I'm trying to do that. What they call it?
House hack.
House hacking.
Go back to my stuff a year ago on IG. I have like carousels talking about house hacking and how to add value and how to do all of that stuff. Because again, that's how I started. I went from 0 units to 23 units by the age of 23. So it's not that difficult if you execute every aspect accurately. So I like it. New York is a very hard market though. It's not really landlord friendly, but it is a hard market on multiple aspects, on cash rates, return on investments, and so on. But I understand you're in an issue, which is you are now co-signed with your dad. You co-signed a 670 loan. So I don't know how much you make, but you're currently at 670 loan. They're gonna that payment is gonna be at, without taxes and insurance, 670 is roughly like $2,800 a month. Without taxes and insurance. So now that's on your record, on your DTI. So that means, you would have to, if you make $7,000 a month, that would be in no other debts. That's basically the max that you can have. So if you're trying to buy another home for 670, you would need to be making $14,000 a month. So, but again,
I've been trying to do a lot of.
What do you do and what do you make?
I'm in accounting. I'm an accountant, but making about 50. I've only been working for 2 years after college, so I've been making about 50 to 55.
Okay, at $55,000 a year, your income's at 45% max if you have no other debts. So divided by 12, your payment per month is allowed to be $2,062, including taxes and insurance. So you would have, if you're going to buy a duplex, you would have to buy it in a area that needs work, or a property that needs work. So until you can build up enough funds, or the first thing I would try to do is try to help your father figure out what his situation is so he can refi again and get your name off. Because it's going to be very hard for you to get a loan.
Afford to do that.
What?
It's just, I think things happen. I think just something happened in the past where his credit got a little messed up, but he can afford to pay it comfortably.
Then help him fix his credit.
Later.
Then help him fix
his credit. I've done some research and I heard that after a year of consistent payments, you can, as a cosigner, you can take your name off that. But I'm not sure if that's true.
Normally, no, not with a mortgage. You're gonna have to refi to get your name off.
Okay.
Like, there's very rare situations with what you're saying is accurate. but it's very rare. You're going to have to refinance to take your name off.
Okay. Yeah, I'm asking these questions, kind of early on too, because I'm still in the phase of like saving up money, because I know it's not just having enough money to put a down payment, but also having extra, because there's always things that come up, right? So,
And it's never too early. I studied for 5 years before I bought my first place. And anytime my clients want to do something significant, it takes usually 2 years of building a solid foundation to be able to make it happen, and then consistently keep growing from there. If you rush the process, you can still do it, but you could probably end up making so many mistakes along the way that it costs you something in the future, or it costs you too much money up front today. So for example, if you had me review your information, and like, okay, getting your father's refinance, because we do loans in many states across the country, I would have possibly reviewed it and said, okay, his credit needs some work. Spend the rest of the next, say, 4 or 6 months. Let's get him to a 680 credit score, and then let's do his refi. And then, yes, it would have been more patience. But if you say, well, Pascal, I got a 3% interest rate now, but I was at 7, I saved 4%. 4% is $24,000 on a annualized basis, and it's $12,000 for 6 months. But what's it going to cost you to do a refi? 1 to 2 points between all the fees, taxes, all the costs. So it's going to cost you $48,000, and you're going to roll in some fees, so maybe you're going to have 24 out of pocket. So basically, you could have waited 1 full year to fix his credit, and you would have been at a wash. It would have been no net difference.
I'm not in a rush, and like I'm still in that phase of like learning. So I was doing stocks for a while, and I've learned the hard way that it takes a while before you start trading. Losing all your money. So
yeah, I mean,
that comes to one of the questions I wanted to ask you about how you find deals, right? So there was this video that spoke about finding houses in the area, seeing how much the average of those houses, like how much they cost, or like they measure it sometimes by square foot, like and they just see the average in that area, and then you just try to find the cheapest houses around and fix them up. But I'm just trying to see, like, how do you go about it, finding deals?
So that makes sense, right? Like that can work, right? Dollar per square foot does work, but you got to consider it is that simple, and it's not that simple. Because if you're looking at dollar per square foot, and then you find the cheapest house in the area, and everybody has 3 bathrooms, and you only have 1, you got to add 2 bathrooms. And how feasible is it for you to add 2 bathrooms? Because that might be $30,000. So if it's $30,000 and there's $300,000 in potential equity, yeah, that's awesome. But there's $30,000 and you only have $50,000. Well, now your margins are very thin. So unless you love this property and want to live in it and hold on to it, then it might not be worth it. Finding deals is the hardest thing. It's looking like it's buffering. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can't tell if you guys can still hear me because it's buffering. So to answer his question, finding deals is one of the hardest things to do. Finding deals is very time consuming. And can you hear me now? All right. Well, I'm
I
gonna.
still can't see, but I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. So finding deals is the hardest thing to do because the money that you're making is usually in the buy. That doesn't mean go and buy the cheapest properties or try to get the cheapest put in the lowest offer, because in this market, you're not really getting anything if you're putting in the lowest offer and taking 30% off, making 1,000 offers at 30% off. The reality is, because if it's anything worthwhile, it's not going to be sold for that low. And if you do get it, there's probably going to be some problem that you probably don't want to inherit. So you're going to be careful. So most of the time when I'm seeing, buying a good deal is finding where you can add value. So if there is something that is in the neighborhood and you find the average cost per square foot and you're getting a discount, normally because there's the property needs to be fixed and you're going to fix it up and add value. The other way that I've been able to make a lot of money is that I'm buying properties on the border of where it is nice and not nice. So there's going to be one part of town that's really, really nice. And then there's going to be this border town that is not as nice. And I buy right on that border. So when basically there's no more affordable houses in the nice neighborhood, they're going to slowly creep over street after street after street to this neighborhood that is not as nice yet. I buy in those lines because then in a few years, it's going to get better. It's going to get nicer. And I will be in line for where all the other builders are going to come, or, rehabbers, and take advantage of the city getting better. That's what I do to help find deals that can make me additional money. So guys, it's getting late. It's great seeing everybody here. I really enjoy touching up with you guys and helping you and answering your questions. I go live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. I have an accounting firm, a mortgage company, an insurance agency. And if you guys need any help with anything, DM me. I'd be more than happy to help you guys. God bless you guys. Oh, there's a link in my bio to my course, how I got to 23 units by the age of 23. It's really a course you need to take. It's going to help you a lot. And after you take the course, if you come to my company and do a refinance or a purchase for a property, I give you back the cost of the course. The goal is to help everyone learn and be able to grow quickly. God bless you guys. Have a good night.